Hi, everybody. Welcome to Katie in the Morning. I'm Katie Page, Director of Member Relations at the National Association of Healthcare Assistants. Look, y'all, it is like 2.5 months until Christmas. Today is October 8th. Everything's starting to filter through your head. The end of the year is coming. Christmas shopping is a big one that's coming. The holidays, getting togethers with the family, trying to worry about not putting on those winter weight pounds. Everything's starting to kind of condense down, which can cause a phenomenal amount of stress. So that's exactly what our segment today is about identifying those stress factors and how to prevent or kind of release some of that stress in a healthy way. So let's jump right into it. Stress and stressors, relationships with others, work-related issues, study demands, coping with illness, life changes such as marriage, retirement, divorce, or childbirth, day-to-day activities, and juggling many roles. I think that last one, juggling many roles, has a lot to do with the CNA profession. We're pulled in 16 million different directions in an 8-hour shift. You have call lights going off. You got to get your trays passed. Activities is asking people to come out there. You still have 3 baths left from this morning. I mean, it can be a huge stressor. So one of the main things about identifying stress is identifying those triggers. What makes you stress? Is it something that you can identify before it happens? Let's talk about some of the symptoms of stress first. Irritability and moodiness. This is probably my number one symptom. Interrupted sleep. The more stress you feel, you can't get your brain to shut off. It can interrupt your sleep pattern. Worrying or increased anxiety. Anxiety is something that affects so many people. I mean, so many people out there. And a lot of them, you can't even tell that they are impacted by anxiety from their surface because they hold it all inside. Back and neck pain is another thing you hear people complaining about their neck hurting or their back hurting. It may not be like a chiropractic issue or a medical issue. It could be stress. Frequent headaches or migraines. This is another one of my symptoms. If I get too stressed out, I automatically get a headache. Upset stomach. People start stressing out and it can literally make them sick. Increased blood pressure is another big one. Changes in appetite. Some people there's either stress eaters or stress non-eaters. Some people will completely stop eating if they're too stressed out. Rashes. A funny story, my pit bull, Callie, actually had anxiety hives. So when she got too stressed out, if I leave her for too long, like on a trip or something, come back and she'd be like head to toe broke out in a rash just from anxiety and stress of me not being there. Chest pain is another one that can kind of surface itself if you're too stressed out, and an impaired immune system. We talked about this one a little bit when we were talking about the flu shot. The more stressed out you get, the more your body has to work, which can impair your immune system because it's too busy fighting those stress factors to worry about like the viruses and bacteria that you're coming in contact with on a daily basis. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about identifying and preventing that stress.
Watch Grassroots Advocacy with Jeff Wellman. Thursdays at 2:30 Central on CNA TV. Tune in to CNA TV every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time for long-term care news with Dane Henning.
Welcome back to Katie in the Morning. Today we're talking about identifying stress factors and how to either prevent or relieve yourself from a little bit of that stress. So let's talk about those triggers a little bit. What are some of the things that kind of stress you out? Are they things that you know are going to happen ahead of time? Like for your kids, for instance, identifying your stress factors is definitely probably the biggest step in the process of preventing stress to begin with. So we'll do a personal reference here. When I get off work, I know I have to drive back to town, pick up my daughter from daycare, and then go and pick up the boys from school. The body language and the way that I walk in is definitely they're going to read that. They're going to read my body language, what kind of a mood I'm in, which is going to, in turn, kind of trigger their reaction, what kind of mood they're going to be in. So that's one of my main triggers. One of my main stress triggers is, a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and 10-month-old all acting out at the same time. I mean, your stress level can go from here to hear in a heartbeat. So really preventing that stress factor is kind of putting those positive vibes out there and getting the best reaction to your actions as you possibly can. Another way that you can prevent stress is to build regular exercise into your routine, keeping your health up, keeping your blood pressure down, make sure that you're eating and sleeping well, and also take time out. If you're starting to feel your stress kind of get a little bit out of control, take a minute or two just to, just let it all go. I mean, give it all up, let it all flow out. Just take a minute to yourself, and whether it is, if you're one of those people that has to like go for a walk to relieve your stress, or sit down and read a book, or even, for those people that have breathing treatments, step outside and smoke a cigarette, let yourself kind of calm down, put yourself in the right mind frame, and then go back into whatever it is that you were doing beforehand. Use problem solving techniques. We were kind of talking about this a little bit with the identifying your stressors. Is it something that you can prevent from happening? Financial is always a big stressor in everybody's life. I don't care if you have $100,000 in your bank account or if you don't even have a bank account. It could take one big event to wipe anybody out. So that financial kind of planning ahead, writing down your financial report for the month, and just kind of categorizing everything where your money's going to go. That way you know where it's going and you don't have to stress about it. It's just one more thing that's going to kind of lift that weight off your shoulders. Good calming techniques. This one, I came across a breathing exercise the other day, and it's a really simple one. It takes about 10 seconds to do. And it really, it sounds kind of dumb, but once I did it a few times, it really did like kind of calm me down. And actually it was Friday after I did Katie in the morning, when we were talking about the information to Revelation. I get a little pumped up about that, so I could feel my everything kind of building. So I just kind of did my breathing technique a couple times, calmed myself down, and said, we got to get through the rest of the day, Katie. Don't let it sit in there and fester before it blows into something else. So you just breathe in through your nose for like 4 seconds, and you hold it in for 6 seconds, and then breathe it back out for 2 seconds. Just like a slow breathing. If you do it a few times, it just kind of, lowers your heart rate, decreases your blood pressure, and just lets yourself be in a calmer state to begin with. Use good communication skills. A lot of stress comes from miscommunication, whether it is you sending that message to somebody else or receiving it. A big part of the communication is feedback. Make sure that whoever you're sending that message to is understanding your message, and make sure you're understanding the message that somebody else is wanting to send to you. And then last but not least, limit negative thinking. We talked about this on another segment of Katie in the Morning. Put yourself on that negative diet, just kind of preventing that negative energy that can impact you on a daily basis is a huge step on identifying and relieving your stress factors. Well, I thank you guys all for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you right back here tomorrow for Katie in the Morning.